I'm Suze from Polka Dot Magpie, and I have a shop on Etsy, and I sell on the internet, and I live in New Mexico. I had made several ravens out of carbon fiber, and nothing was quite right, and I thought, oh, I'm going to try and sculpt these ravens out of this paper micarta, and it was a winner. It worked. So I have these pieces of black paper micarta, brown, some cream, and I thought, oh, I'm going to try making a raven out of this. And this has been my test piece. It was much larger, and I've done everything from test how to put the eye in, to see if a bail will stay in there, how to polish it, and it sort of looks like a raven right now, and it's been laying around my shop, and anytime I need to test something or try something, this is on micarta, this is how I do it. Anyway, I have a pattern that I made, and it's of a raven, and I have my little notes on it on what size the eye holes are and all that, because I'm really mathematically challenged, and I couldn't remember a number if my life depended on it. I can hardly tell you my phone number. Anyway, so I trace, can you see this? Yeah. I trace the pattern on here, and then I go over to the bandsaw, and cut it out. And here's a finished raven, so I'm going to show you how we go from here to here in about 1,000,000 easy steps. In order to get this little tiny crook in this part of his beak, I use these belt grinders that are really for my husband's knife making. And if I didn't have this nice grinder, I would be doing this with a file, because there's just no other way. I have a grinder of my own, but it's like an easy bake oven. It doesn't really work well. But if I want to get this little tiny notch in here, I use this. And then I profile around the raven as much as I can with this. It saves a lot of work for me. And it takes seconds to do, absolutely seconds to do, to make this. And that's it. So now he's going to go have his edges broken on my other machines, and I'm going to start sculpting him and shaping him with different tools. So you can see now that I've pretty much got the edge broken so that it's soft. And it's really important when I do this, I start and make sure that my shape is good before I start working on it. Because if my outside edge isn't right, my system of sculpting these with these different rollers and brushes, there'll be a bump or a hump, or he'll look like a hunchback raven, and we don't want that. So now I'm going to put on a brush. I have all these brushes, and I can talk through this if you want. I have all these brushes. They do different things. A coarse brush, not so, and all the way to fine. And I start with the coarse brush. And this one I stole from my husband because his is firmer and I like it better. This one is too wobbly. And then I have a little one that I use to get in the beak, because the beak definitely is important to me. So we're going to start with this. And I start now this still has a bit of an edge, so I go the other way. And I'm starting to scratch my bird. I get a lot of scratches with this brush, but it's the only way I can really sculpt him and give him the soft curves that a real bird has, that they look so lifelike in my shop. So I'm going to drill the hole for the eye. Very gently. And I keep lifting my drill out because I'm removing a lot of material from a small space. And what will happen is it will catch and the bird will go spinning around in my fingers. And with my metal birds, I learned the hard way. Now see how that ripped on the back? So I'm going to have to go in and fix that when I'm done. And I'll get the hole for the jump ring. See, it happened. If I try to go too fast, it takes it off. It pulls it right out of my hand. If that was metal, I would have cut my finger, and I have cut my fingers many, many times. And what I do is once I've reamed the eye, then I have to put the bead in, and I have to get it, and I'm still using all my printmaking tools. That's never left me. When I need something, this is a printmaking needle, and I use it a lot of times for the eyes or to place things. And so I need to get the eye so that the center of the bead is in the center of the eye. And then I use a really, really high-tech pusher. It's called a pencil eraser. Now that my eye is placed where it goes, the bead is so soft. They're 14 karat gold, and so they're very, very soft. And so I push this in, and because I reamed the hole, it will stay. There we go. So all he needs is his wing glued on with epoxy and a jump ring, and he's ready to go. When I make them into earrings, I put a wing on both sides, and they tend to fly away with 2 wings though. So there we go. There's a finished one. So now you've seen how I make my ravens. I would say it takes me, for each bird, at least an hour. And I think they're my favorite piece that I sell.